All right, everybody, the Iceman here on Iceman's Return YouTube channel. It's a Saturday. It's WrestleMania weekend, but lost in the mix of WrestleMania and all their week-long stuff on their network was last night on Destination America was TNA Impact Wrestling, and I'm going to tell you something, guys. Since TNA has been on Destination America, the shows just seem to get better and better and better. And last night was no difference. It was a great show last night. I enjoyed it. Um, we're going to do sort of like a quick rundown because if I talked about this whole show, I'd be on here more than the length of the show from last night. But yeah, anyway, the show started off basically with James Storm in a cage, um, basically talking about how he took out Jeff Hardy and whatnot. And Jeff Hardy came out, and they basically were going to say, you know, um, this is it. And as Jeff Hardy was out there uh, going after James Storm, the top of the cage came down, and this was to promote what was to become later on. Now, while Storm was, addressing Jeff Hardy, Manic came out to try to take out Jeff Hardy. Obviously, this is the tactics of the Revolution. Jeff Hardy ended up giving him a twist of fate, which took Manic out of the situation. And then again, Storm addressing Jeff Hardy. Here comes Abyss. There was some chair shots and whatnot, um, but Jeff Hardy took out Abyss, and Hardy said to Storm, "Even your big man Koya has nothing. He's not going to take me out. It's going to be me on you later on." And after this segment was over, pretty much Storm addressed Koya saying, if you don't take out Jeff Hardy later, you're going to have the repercussions from me. So that was pretty cool. So I loved it. It was great. We went on. We had the TNA X Division Championship. Rockstar Spud going up against Loki, who just lost that title, just like last week. And this was a pretty interesting match. It went a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Um, you got to understand, too, with the Beatdown Clan, you never know what's going to happen. He did come out without the rest of the clan, uh, and it just it was pretty good. MVP did finally run out. He distracted the referee. Kenny King came out as well. He distracted Spud. This allowed Loki to, block the underdog attempt by Rockstar Spud. And then all of a sudden, we saw Drew Galloway walk out, which distracted Loki enough for Spud to catch Key with an inside cradle for the pin. And this was a really good segment here. I really liked it. I'm really starting to get into Rockstar Spud a little bit more now that he's got the shaved head and he's really getting involved in matches for the X Division. I totally enjoyed it. So after we got back from the break, MVP was out there with the rest of the Beatdown Clan, and he said that Drew wanted to talk about doing the right thing for the fans and whatnot. And MVP was saying that it's time for Drew to realize that the Beatdown Clan is not into playing games. And, so there was a lot of things going on there. They sort of enticed Drew Galloway into the ring. But as you noticed, Drew Galloway had this shirt on which said The Rising. And when he went into the ring, he wasn't by himself. He had two other people that are now new members of The Rising, which pretty much cleared the ring and the Beatdown Clan. So that was a great segment there. I totally really enjoyed that. Up next, we had Brooke Tessmacher going up against Awesome Kong. Excuse me. Well, going into this match, obviously since Awesome Kong came back, she's been like just totally annihilating people. But she still has not really devastated everybody. Brooke gave it her best shot. It got to the point where um, she just destroyed Brooke. really with the face buster on two different occasions. And it was sort of interesting because Earl Hebner, as Awesome Kong was outside the ring, she was going underneath. She grabbed the table. She was setting up the table going up to the ramp. Earl Hebner sort of like conveniently rolls Brooke to where Awesome Kong can just grab her from outside the ring. As she was attempting to do so and going to throw Brooke through the table, here comes none other than the TNA Knockouts champion Taryn Terrell. She came out and she gave it her all to Awesome Kong, but in the end, Kong ended up throwing Taryn Terrell through the table. This was a great, great segment. Given the knockouts and this segment, it got a lot of time, and it was very, 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 very fun to watch. We also saw um, Austin Aries talking about Lashley and Engel, said it was amazing. He said Engel deserved a celebration, but he asked, what if we had two celebrations tonight? This was very, very interesting. But then again, also backstage, we saw Jeff Hardy talking about tonight, and he said Impact will never be the same after what happens inside the cage. He was attacked by Koya. This was interesting as well. This was a really good segment backstage. Jeff Hardy ended up hitting Koya with, I don't know, like 5 or 6 different bottles to finally knock him out. And he was telling him, don't get up, don't get up, don't get up. Excellent segment here in TNA. I really enjoyed that. And then after that, we saw Kurt Angle come to the ring to celebrate his TNA World title reign. And this was excellent as well. Kurt Angle's talking about winning the title. And then we heard EC3's music hit. He comes out with Tyrus. And of course, EC3, spewing out his dialogue, basically saying he was the only guy that ever beat Angle and Sting and Bully Ray and whatnot. And then we heard Bobby Roode's music hit, which interrupted that segment. And Roode came out saying he respected Kurt Angle, but he got screwed out of his World Championship title. And then you heard Eric Young's music hit. He came out, and of course, this is setting up Eric Young and Bobby Roode for another match, which I was hoping this was all over with. And then after that, we heard Austin Aries' music hit, and he came out. And this was great. I mean, this whole thing was great. Aries opened up the briefcase, had a bottle of champagne, and said to Kurt Angle, it's time to celebrate, but is it time to celebrate for you, or is it time to celebrate for me, and whatnot? And that segment was like totally awesome. It was great. And then, of course, obviously, Mr. Anderson came out, and then Kurt Angle had left the ring after there was a beatdown going on within the ring, and then comes Bobby Lashley, and he asked for a rematch, and of course, Kurt Angle accepted, which we will see next week. When we came back from commercial break, it was a 6-man tag team match. It was Ethan Carter III, Tyrus, and Eric Young going up against A double, Austin Aries, and the It Factor Bobby Roode, along with Mr. Anderson. And it was a pretty damn good 6-man match. But it really wasn't until basically, towards the end, things were just like going really haywire. And Eric Young ended up grabbing the knee of Austin Aries and locked him in a figure 4, causing Aries to tap. And after that match, they were talking about the knee brace that Eric Young had on, which probably, made the figure 4 a lot more intense than what it actually was. But it was an excellent, excellent match. And then to come, the Bram and Magnus stuff is very, very good. I'm loving all of this. I never get tired of it. Bram come down to the ring. He pretty much called Magnus a coward and said there was a million ways to describe Magnus, but the biggest one is a coward. And Magnus's music hit. He came out along with Mickey James. And again, this is setting up for next week's Last Man Standing match. A very, very good segment. And I'm loving the stuff that's going on between Magnus and Bram, as well as having Mickey James really involved in this. Whether or not she's going to be involved in the Last Man Standing remains to be seen. But I'm loving it. A great, great segment there as well. And then we come up to the main event, the 6 Sides of Steel weapons cage match. Jeff Hardy against James Storm. What can I say about this match? It was brutal. It was fun. This is the first match for Jeff Hardy since coming back, after his injury. And obviously, as we all know, when they're out in the United Kingdom, Jeff Hardy really can't leave the United States, cannot leave, the country. So they worked this into it so well. But when he came back with a vengeance. We saw a lot of Jeff Hardy tonight on TNA Impact Wrestling, and we also saw James Storm get his ass kicked at the very end. Like I said, if you did not get to see TNA, because there was a Ring of Honor show on last night as well, with all the hoopla going on with WrestleMania, you need to check out TNA from very, very beginning to the very, very end, because it was one great show. And like I said, since they've been on Destination America, TNA has really done some great, great programming. And like I was talking to my nephew this morning, I said to him, if you watch TNA last night, it's almost like the whole show was like leading towards a pay-per-view. And this is totally awesome. So I really enjoyed it. I hope everybody else that watched it did as well. So anyway, again, we have the WWE Hall of Fame tonight, but this show is actually basically all around TNA. Again, people that don't give TNA a chance just because it's TNA don't know what they're missing out on, since TNA has started this year on Destination America. It's not the same TNA as we saw last year. I think TNA right now is like way, way better. And it's very exciting. And when you watch it from beginning to end, there's no lapses of intensity. There's no lapses of entertainment. It's just nonstop, total action. So this is the Iceman here on this Saturday, everybody. Peace out. Enjoy your day. And I just want to put this out there. It's snowing here in Connecticut today. Who figured? March 28th, 2015. We'll see y'all next time, everybody. Peace.